Thanks for joining us. I'm so happy Viviane is here. She is another amazing human. Thanks for waking up early and for bringing the energies of Uluru onto this platform. So powerful.
Well, it's great. I know what it's like to be with Viviane at a sacred site. Oh, not this. You hear the sirens in the background. Um, anyway, yes, and when we were sitting in the pause of the Sphinx, she did a fantastic transmission from her Arcturian family, and it was very powerful. And Viviane, you're just so beautiful and open in your communication, and so important to be a bridge between this world and these other dimensional realities. So I'm happy you're at another beautiful sacred site that's one of the real chakra foundational points of this planet, holy site to the Aboriginal Australians, and they're the oldest continuous civilization on the planet. They've had a spiritual culture for over 60,000 years, and this is their sacred center. And they would meet every year. They didn't have calendars, but all the tribes of Australia would meet at Uluru every year at a date they felt was the time to meet all over the continent. So I'm so interested about what this transmission will be, Viviane. How are you doing?
Well, both Michelle and Alan, it's such a joy to see both of you. And Alan, as always, you always have such the kindest word, and Michelle, the gentleness in presenting who I am and what I do. So yes, everyone, I am Viviane Chauvet. So a little bit sleepy here. You have to forgive me. It's 4 a.m. in the morning, and for us, it's already Saturday. So we're, a day ahead. And yesterday, Friday, Austrian time, we went directly to Katajuta and Uluru. So we did two very sacred sites here, and we had a chance to meet with one of the grandmother of one of the Aboriginal original tribe here. So we were able to communicate, be with her, and speaking in their original native tongue, and have received a teaching and to feel the connection. And what I did is I connected to her ancestral lineage, and I can feel so many of them coming through her and communicating. So there's such a vibrancy here in Uluru. It is indescribable. You have to be on site to really feel it. One of the things that really amazed me is that when we were in Katajuta, the connections there, the Stone Nation, really start to speak to me because, we've been told never pick up a rock, leave the rocks in nature, leave them where they are. And I asked the Stone Nation, what is it about the importance of respecting the stone? And they start to tell me to interweave a tapestry of history. So they tell me that they're storytellers, literally. So each stone become a part of a very large ancient archives of history. So when a stone is removed from the site, it's like taking out a piece of that archives. And some of them, like you mentioned, Alan, they're so ancient, and they will take you even in the time of the prehistoric time where the earth was forming, and they will tell you tales and memories that they contain. So just walking on the stone, you can feel the vibration, even the contact from the sole of your feet, even to your walking shoes. You can still feel the vibration which activate ancient memories encoded right in your lineage and even the body ley line. So just some background quickly about myself for those who may not be familiar with me is that I am an Arcturian being. I'm a direct Arcturian representative and ambassador for this very, very ancient intergalactic delegation, and I am in a hybrid human form. And what it means is that my body, my vessel, as a conduit, was constructed to hold the genetic of my Arcturian self with just a connection of the earth. So whenever I travel to sacred site, which we did last year with Alan and Neil, by the way, too, we, like the Sphinx, when I connect right away, I am being acknowledged and recognized by the guardians or the wisdom keepers or even the energy of that site as an Arcturian being. So they greet me. So right here in Uluru, when we move into a secret space, well, before we enter, we had several guardians who reached out to me telepathically and said, "We recognize you, Arcturian ambassador." And I said, on behalf of a group of emissaries of light, which means everyone in our group, we come and present ourselves and our light. So one of the things to remember is how you present yourself. So your energy, your intention, what you carry in your field will be transmitted. And so the guardians will either grant us permission to enter or not. But because I knew the protocol and I was able to express the desire of being of service, as opposed to we're there to take pictures and look at the beauty of the land and touch the rock and then leave. We are there as a spiritual oriented group to be of service of the land, to clear the deep distortion in the grids and to help to heal thousands of years of wounds. So when we introduce ourselves, our signature was enough to open multiple gateways. And 3 times I heard the guardian said, "You may enter." So when we were granted permission, then we can move forward into the park or move forward into the walk and really establish a very strong connection. And we were there just for us less than 24 hours ago. And I'm still carrying the frequency. I am still physically carrying the energy in my body. And the exchange that has been going on has been phenomenal. In fact, I saw at some point a portal, a solar portal. So you can see there was the sun and there was this huge interdimensional ring around the sun, and this bluish ray of light came through the sun and touched the ground to, connect with me and bring in the next level of light codes. And what one of the things that we've done so far, because there's going to be more work done, obviously, but so far what we have done is to repair the distortion and the misalignment in the grids here in Uluru, and right above those very sacred sites, Katajuta and Uluru, and there was a distortion in the field, like almost like a tear in the space-time continuum, and we were there to repair that, to realign the grids. So I'm jumping into the energy of Uluru, obviously, because we are literally physically on site, even though you can see my logo behind me, the light language of Arcturian light language. It's more eloquent to see hotel curtains. So being physically here, it really brings that energy. So I'm going to invite everyone right now. Let's slow down your mind. I know you've been receiving incredible amount of information, transmission, exchange, but just tune in for a moment. Let's just take a few minutes in your heart. Let's just tune in, if you would please, with your eyes closed. Let's just tune in and feel the sacred lineage of a multitude of generational, ancestral, the original aboriginal tribes, and the guardians, the wisdom keepers, the land of Uluru, Australia, to feel the energy of the Stone Nation and many, many guardians on the land. Just feel and breathe into it to allow this sacred vibration to become a part of you, to settling in all this agitation and mental energy and everything that you may have received. Just allow yourself to ground into a higher presence, grounding into centeredness, grounding in loving presence. And let all generations of the wisdom keepers and the gatekeepers here in Uluru to speak to you, to gently connect to your heart, to your spirit, to even connect to your body as a sacred temple, a vibrational conduit. Let's take a deep breath and release. Beautiful. So really, the invitation is to allow that connection to take place. So it was just a little bit of an introduction. I'm going to be presenting a workshop around Uluru and what has been going on here, all the transmission, the messages, what is changing, and especially in the upcoming new Cosmic Gateway of 2025. So I'll be presenting a workshop at the Conscious Life Expo in February of 2025 at the LAX Hotel in Los Angeles, California. And I know that many of you are going to be there at the Conscious Life Expo. So the Saturday morning, I'll be presenting. So come and you'll see we'll take a deep dive into the teaching here. And of course, the teaching of the star nations, the ancient guardians, the ancient masters. And then I'm going to be taking a deep dive. But today, for our time together, I would like to explore a little bit about the quantum DNA. And the reason why I chose this topic around the quantum DNA is because if you feel there's an intersecting movement in the timeline, and what it means is that we can feel, sense, and even physically perceive that the timelines are really shifting. So what it means is that right now we are in that conjunction point or a convergent point, and so we can feel that the third dimensional construct has, we have known things physically, things, how things are really been shifting here on the planet, whether it's physical field, spiritual field, whether it's, the structure of the world, it's everything that we feel that's pulling and almost like tearing apart. That's because that third dimensional linear time construct is really morphing, is transforming. And this underlying energy of a higher fifth dimensional, more unified ascension energy is really wants to take on. And you can tell we are almost like at movement of changes on the planet. Think of it as the Hopi prophecy, the Hopi prophecy rock. For those of you who may have been on the land, I personally have been to the Hopi reservation in Arizona, and I have seen the Hopi rock prophecy, and it really talks about the shift in the timeline when Creator is overseeing the changes. Those who are very much more mental, more still engaged in a third dimensional construct, that timeline is moving away for those of us who are spiritually and consciously more in alignment to our movement awareness, and that timeline is shifting. So from an intergalactic perspective, we are shifting into that awareness, and we are observing that on the quantum DNA level, there's a lot of transmutation taking place. And what it means is that all the memories of previous incarnations, or the imprints or the ancient blueprints of all of your previous incarnations are really interweaving itself into a matrix or a new template for your quantum DNA. And it's really activating more and more ancient memories. For example, when we were in Uluru yesterday, Australian time zone, at some point we enter a cavity, like almost like a cave that was formed inside of Uluru, and right away through my DNA template, I start to remembering the purpose of that particular cave or that cavity and how it was constructed. So it was really amazing um, to see how much the remembrance really much more in terms of coming through and how much I was really reactivating an aspect on my quantum DNA template, and those memory allow me to read the frequencies encoded in that particular place. So it's becoming more and more available to all of us. And what it means is that it is we're starting to get more in sacred alignment with Gaia or Mother Gaia energetic field, or what the Arcturian talks about, Gaia sentient field. The sentient field of the planet is influencing every life, every life, the animals, the trees, human beings, deep into the ocean, the whales nation, the dolphins. It really shifts the energy of everything on the planet. So we're starting to become much more in sync with the conscious morphogenetic field of Gaia, and then Gaia is also shifting her alignment not only with the solar system but on a galactic core level. So we're starting to move out of these outdated third dimensional linear time construct of realities, and we're moving back into a more universal holographic universe. And I know those are the terms that we hear a lot from spiritual teachers like myself and others, but it really is an experience. And I'm going to invite everyone right now to really step out of your third dimensional logic mind and allowing this ancient knowingness that coexists, cohabit within you, whether it's in your DNA template, and it's also encoded even in your DNA codons. It is part of your body memory field, and it's really allowing you to tap deeper into this empathic energy or empathic responses of your heart intelligence field. We know that the heart is the biggest brain of our being rather than the logic mind. So we're starting to get more in that sacred realignment within ourselves, where we understand that we are multidimensional holographic beings, and how the synergy of even our DNA are really unlocking, it releasing, unlocking all these keys or master keys of understanding and knowledge. So this is why we want to bring a little bit of energy around the DNA, and to recognize that as your soul, the eternal, infinite being of light that you are, in the multitude of past incarnations, or what we call past time cycles, whether you lived 1,000 times on this planet, Gaia, or as a Sirians, or a Pleiadian, or an Andromedan, or you were simply maybe pure energy, all these encoding of previous incarnations or lifetime cycles, it's starting to become more accessible in terms of akashic memories right into the DNA. So we prefer the terms of looking at your DNA in terms of reawakening as opposed to reprogramming. There's nothing to reprogram. It's more in terms of shifting that consciousness to reawaken what is already within you. So think of it this way. The 3D personality that we all developed and move into, and we have stories and, family and, places you live, education, all of it. This 3D personality and all its traits becomes just like a cap or a veil on top of your original divine blue design, the blueprint of your being. So when you start to allow the dissolving, the transformation, or the release of your attachments to that 3D identity, what happens is that naturally your soul blueprint start to resurface. That's what we call the reawakening. It start to come back and it start to release knowingness, intuitive, deja vu, synchronicity, a sense of expansion. Your awareness become much more acute, and you start to live your life in these beautiful synchronized movement. And this is what we call the grand reawakening within you. It's a reversal of a thought system. Rather than to reprogram something with something else, we prefer to have the approach of reawakening and reversing these old thought system to really unlock them so they can be dissolved. And then the natural organic remembrance of who you are, your soul purpose, your innate qualities, your gifts, everything that makes you unique become accessible to you. Does that make sense? Yes, absolutely. So this is why all of these ancient memories are the same ways within your DNA template, and the consciousness of your DNA start to speak a language that you become more and more aware of. It is the same thing with your body template. And listening to your body internal language, or listening to the language of your heart. Start to really feel. How many of you are able to hear the tones that your nervous systems produce? Yes, your nervous systems has internal gateways of universal connection, produce a very beautiful synchronized series of tones. Oftentimes I can hear the tones of my nervous systems. So what do I do with this? I tune in, I release the 3D mental mind who asks questions and wants to know more, but never really retain important knowledge. Instead of it, I connect to my heart, I take a deep breath, I ground myself into my being. I become more centered, and then I simply redirect my focal point to the tones that I hear. I can even see the movement of those tones to my nervous systems. So it's a way that I do to readjust my vibration and the frequency. And especially right now, traveling across the world, and we've been gone for over a month already. Believe me, it's become very handy to reattune my vibrational state and the frequencies, because I receive so much and as I give so much through the environment. So it really all interconnected. So if you feel it, you can already start to perceive this inner calling, this invitation to tune in. So the DNA will becoming more and more of a foundational support system as you continue to rise in your awareness. And it's going to be important to really filter out the outside noise, whether it's ingesting too much information. There's a difference between information and quality of knowledge, because you can really oversaturate your mental field and it can create disruption in the GI tract or the digestive system when there's too much information absorbed, but there's no knowledge really applied. So instead of it, I'm going to invite you to really tune in and extract very important key of knowledge that's supporting you on your day-to-day life, rather than to absorb too much and then become overwhelmed and even emotionally saturated. That's just a little bit of an beautiful Arcturian wisdom here. And as you will see is that the quantum DNA of your own structures is evolving, is shifting. So to the point where your DNA is evolving in connection to your consciousness, and the two aspects will create a beautiful natural convergence into your own lifetime or your life timeline. What it means is that makes a difference between, from a spiritual perspective, am I still too engaged into approaching spirituality from a third dimensional mental logic mind, or am I engaged into my soul evolution? So it really is about gaining more light and allowing your soul evolution to shift and evolve. So it's the same thing with your DNA. It comes a time where the human race will be able to attune itself to their own DNA, watch the structures, how it evolves well beyond a 12 strand, and it will continue to evolve and reveal more light codes, encoding, instructions, information, whether it's from galactic origins, whether it's to ancestral lineages, whether it's also to your own soul akashic records. And can you imagine for a moment tapping into this infinite library of encoded knowledge, wisdom, and being able to say, okay, I'm going to keep those keys and I'm going to tune out the keys that no longer serve me, and being able to consciously in complete alignment to do this. So this is part of the next level of natural and organic evolution we are perceiving coming through the planet, in spite of all the chaotic energy right now. I know there's a lot of chaos, a lot of pushback, there's a lot of movement, conflict. But what we do is that we can feel that out of chaos, there's a new structure, a beautiful divine design that is coming through. So I'm going to invite you right now to take a deep breath and release. And ask, from a fifth dimensional perspective, I ask this divine design for Mother Gaia to reveal itself to me. Let's repeat that again. Just feel in your heart. From a fifth dimensional perspective, I ask that the divine design for Mother Gaia be revealed to me now. And just pay attention, breathe, observe, and let your entire body intelligence, all of your senses, all of your intuitive centers, to show you, to reveal to you. And whether it's you feel, you know, a sensation in your body, perhaps an image that comes to you, a thought form, a sensation, an energy in your heart, whichever form of energetic language comes to you, it is appropriate. Just allow these energetic form of languages to communicate with you. Too often times in my practice, people ask me, I want to see, I want my third eye to be open. So what we always say is, utilize your most powerful intuitive centers. Do you feel more? Do you know? To your body? Do you have a sense of presence? If that is how you communicate and receive messages, and let these channels communicate with you first. Let them be the receptors, and then invite your other senses, like your clairvoyance or clairaudience, to come on without forcing anything. Utilize what feels already aligned the most with you, and from there you can evolve. Invite more senses as you are getting ready emotionally and consciously to be open. So utilize your strength and your natural ability. And so by doing that, it really opens up so much. So when I create workshop or I on a sacred site and I conduct spiritual tours, after time people will ask me, how do you know what you know? How come you receive so many messages and you feel so much? And the answer is because I allow the entirety of my being and all of my gifts to be active and be of service. So there's no mental blockages because I push my mind too much. It's all of my being. Now you may say, well, you are an Arcturian being, so it's natural to you. Yes, it's true. I have this ability as an Arcturian. At the same time, I'm still coexisting with you in this third dimensional field. And so I can feel the pushback, the restriction, the dark light polarity, and all of these experiences of polarization and dualistic energies. Nonetheless, it changes nothing to who I am. And what I just say right now, it's important, and the invocation of your I am presence. So in spite of what is happening in this third dimensional world, it changes nothing to the profound nature of who you are. So this is why I'm sharing that with you. So just to maybe take a moment to do a little breathing exercise. I've presented a beautiful energy here called the golden light of the sun. And I'm going to let the energy to come in right now. Again, I'm so sorry. It's 4:30 in the morning for me here in Australia, so my body is still waking up. So let's do an exercise called the golden solar light. It's a deep breathing exercise just to let the golden light of the great central sun to enter your field and illuminate your being. So if you please just close your eyes for a moment and let's take a deep breath. Bring yourself back in complete centeredness with the intention to bring all of your presence, mental energy, emotional, spiritual, and physical. Just allow yourself to be fully present. And as we are now breathing a little deeper, we're going to open the energy to the great central sun and to bring the golden solar light to your crown chakra right above your head, your crown of enlightenment and universal communication. Just feel your crown of the universal communication receiving now this golden solar light and allowing the golden solar light of the great central sun to move through your spine, opening your spinal column as an energetic matrix or an energy conduit to revive, restore, and rejuvenate all of the nerve endings along the spine, all the corresponding organs, body systems, naturally bringing into sacred alignment all of your internal channels and your energetic vortexes known as chakras, and to feel the energy moving down your sacrum. And to your sacrum, it is the seat of unification between your divine self and the human aspect of your soul experience. So let's bring these two aspects in unity within your sacrum, with peace and universal presence down to your tailbone. Keep breathing into the golden solar light past your feet and deep into the earth, Mother Gaia, also known as Terra. And allow the golden solar light to completely replenish your energy, clear distortion, confusion, and allow your own energetic field to re-expand. So breathe into your field as you're expanding. Beautiful. You can open your eyes now. The key element to remember here is that when you feel retracted through influences, negativity, fear, stress, uncertainty, utilize the golden solar light. Open your crown of universal communication. Use your spine as a conduit. And what is important is reopen your field. Instead of being retracted, re-expand. And feel internally what changed. Your heart rate, your heart calms down. Your breathing reopen. You start to release stress from the body and even the muscular memory. Your muscles remembers. Clear that. Ground yourself in that loving, conscious presence. Very quick reset that allows you to have more discernment, clarity, and utilizing your intuition as a guidance system. So those are just little points that I want to share with you in the field, the energy. So deep breath, everyone. There's one more thing I'd like to share. A very beautiful event that I'm going to be a part of, thanks to Alan and Neil, of course. I am really excited about being part of the Galactic Origin Cruise, December 14th to the 21st, right in the winter solstice. We're going to be traveling to the Mayan timelines, and I'm going to be talking about this 12 years after the Mayans finish. And I'm going to share with you right now on my screen. I have it. There you go. The beautiful posters. I'm going to bring it, if I can allow it. There you go. The Galactic Origin Cruise. So yeah, this is a flyer that was made for me as a speaker. Join us. The official website is right here, galacticorigincruise.com. It is still time to sign up. And if you use my name as a referral, I'm going to offer an exclusive private group event for those who will come under my name as a referral, as a thank you to you. It's going to be phenomenal. And the energy of all, through Belize, Cozumel, the Mayan temples, right into the Bermuda energies. And especially it is 12 years after the end of the Mayans calendar, and I'm going to explore the significance of the Mayans timelines into the new cosmic gateway of 2025. So really excited about this. Here I am again. So make sure you sign up, and we look forward to seeing you.
That was absolutely incredible, Viviane.
Thank you.
I like to look sometimes at the comments, and I see people saying how soothing your voice is. And I was thinking the same thing, that when I had experienced the meditation you did, I think it might have been at Portal to Ascension in San Diego, I could feel a very significant vibration in your voice that really led me back to what you were doing with the golden solar light meditation. And what an incredible tool for all of us to access right now. Thank you for bringing that to us. Thank you for reminding us that the stones are storytellers, and that the stones don't want to be removed, and that they're archives, and that there's ancient memories encoded in each one of those stones. I needed that reminder, and just really feeling the energies of Uluru that you brought through. I think it's all so perfectly and divinely timed for right now. So Vivian, you know, I love you so very much. And Neil has invited me to be on the Galactic Cruise. I didn't give a yes because of stuff that was going on with my family, but boy, you sure make me want to jump on that boat. I want to be there with all of you. But really, really appreciate you sharing about the timelines converging and what we can do to be stewards for our own evolutionary process. You really brought us back into that powerful reminder of our own alignment and our responsibility to be good stewards of our own body temples and for the evolution of Mother Gaia and ourselves during these times. And as always, I love you so very much. I really, really appreciate everything that you bring, Vivian, and I hope you get a little more sleep before you get on with your day there in Australia.
Oh, thank you so much. I love you, Michelle. Big hug to you. Neil, Alan, big hug to you. I cannot wait to see you all. And thank you, everyone, for your kindness watching this epic event online. Thank you for all of your wonderful, wonderful comments. And I know that my website will be there too. I do have an online community. I offer teachings, membership. I am the founder of the Universal Arcturian online community. We're growing. We have people from all over the world. Get on that cruise. Come see us. And again, Neil, and Alan, I want to personally thank you for bringing us, my delegation and I today. Michelle, you are shining your light. Always a joy and a privilege to be with you. I'm going to go get some rest because I have a group waiting for me in a few hours and doing more work here in Uluru. But it's absolutely the energy. And even though my physical form is still a bit sleepy, I know the message was conveyed from our heart.
You absolutely brought it through, as you always do. That is my experience, that when I'm in your presence, I really, really feel your delegation. I feel your passion and your purpose and your mission on earth. And thank you for sharing your love, your light, your wisdom. We really appreciate it. And this has been an epic day. I'm really impressed with every speaker we've had. And thank you for continuing on.